Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Welcome. Just to give a little summary before I begin in detail, there are three categories of food that we will discuss: vegetarian, non-vegetarian, and prasaditarian. And to illustrate these different categories of food and the different effects that they have, I will read a verse and purport from the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is an ancient text, about 5,000 years old, in the Sanskrit language. And Bhagavat comes from the word Bhagavan, which means God, and Gita means song. So the Bhagavad Gita is the literal record of God's spoken word, but when God speaks, it's song, it's poetry, it's music. It's not ordinary prose like we speak. But having said all that, whatever we discuss here is, you could say, not sectarian. The Bhagavad Gita is not part of any particular religious tradition, but it's a universal book of knowledge. It's for all people. Before coming here, I went to Hitchcock Hall nearby, where my teacher, Swami Bhaktivedanta, had a program with the poet Allen Ginsberg on May 12th, 1969. And 2,000 students attended. It was more than the capacity of the hall. And Allen Ginsberg spoke, gave a bit of an introduction, and then Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada spoke. And he led kirtan. We had a, sort of short, simple version of kirtan earlier. And during that chanting, students were, getting up from their seats and coming on stage and dancing in the aisles. It was a real festival. So I was very happy to visit that sanctified place before coming here. So we will do this in a little interactive way, which will mainly involve my saying something and your repeating it. So we'll begin with a short mantra to invoke auspiciousness. So if you can, if you feel like it, please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Forgot to ask a most important question. How long do we have?
We have this room from 7:30 to 9:30. So since we started at 7:30, so we can go up to 8:15, and then after we serve out.
Okay. All right. So again, repeat. Yagya,
Yagya,
Shishta,
Shishta,
Asina,
Asina,
Santa,
Santa,
Muchyante,
Muchyante,
Sarva,
Sarva,
Kilbishai,
Kiltishai,
Bunjate,
Punjate,
Te,
Te,
Tu,
Tu,
Agam,
Agam,
Papa,
Papa,
Ye,
Ye,
Pachanti,
Pashanti,
Atma,
Atma,
Karanat,
Karanat,
Yagyashistina Shanto, Muchyante Sarva Kilbishai,
Muchyante Sarva Kilbishai,
Bunjate Te Tvagam Papa,
Punjate Te Padam Papa,
Ye Pachantyatma Karanat,
Ye Pachantya Karanat,
Yagyashista Shina Santo,
Yagashishna Santo,
Muchyante Sarva Kilbishai,
Muchyante Sarva Kilbishai,
Bunjate Te Tvagam Papa,
Punjate Te Padam Papa,
Ye Please repeat. Yagyashista,
Yagashishta,
of food taken after performance of yagya
of food taken after performance of yagya
or sacrifice.
or sacrifice.
Ashina,
Ashina,
eaters.
eaters.
Santa,
Santa,
the devotees.
the devotees.
Muchyante,
Muchyante,
get relief.
give relief.
Sarva,
Sarva,
all kinds of.
all kinds of.
Kilbishai,
Kilbishai,
from sins.
from sins.
Bunjate,
Punjate,
enjoy.
enjoy.
Te,
Te,
they.
they,
Tu,
tu,
but.
but.
Agam,
Agam,
grievous sins.
grievous sins.
Papa,
Papa,
sinners.
sinners.
Ye,
Ye,
who.
who,
Pachanti,
Pachanti,
prepare food.
prepare food.
Atmakaranat,
Atmakarana,
for sense enjoyment.
for sense enjoyment.
Translation. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sin because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others, who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verily eat only sin. So, to begin, I will define some terms. The first is sin. What do we mean by sin? And sin may have some negative connotations because of, well, whatever, fire and brimstone preachers that threaten or promise, different types of punishment for people who commit sin. But what is sin? Sin in our vocabulary means what transgresses the laws of God or the laws of nature. Just like crime, by definition, means something done against the laws of the state. So sin means something done against the laws of God or nature. So now I'll read our teacher's commentary, purport. The devotees of the Supreme Lord, or the persons who are in Krishna consciousness, are called santas, because they are always in love with the Lord, as it is described in the Brahma Samhita 538. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. The santas, that word santa, Sanskrit word santa, is related to the word saint. The santas, being always in a compact of love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, the giver of all pleasures, or Mukunda, the giver of liberation, or Krishna, the all-attractive person, cannot accept anything without first offering it to the Supreme Person. Therefore, such devotees perform yagyas, sacrifices in different modes of devotional service, such as shravanam, hearing, kirtanam, chanting, smaranam, remembering, archanam, worshipping, and so on. And these performances of yagyas keep them always aloof from all kinds of contamination of sinful association in the material world. Others who prepare food for self or sense gratification are not only thieves, but also the eaters of all kinds of sins. How can a person be happy if he is both a thief and sinful? It is not possible. Therefore, in order for people to become happy in all respects, who wants to be happy in all respects? We all do. Therefore, in order for people to become happy in all respects, they must be taught to perform the easy process of Sankirtan Yagya, that is the chanting of the holy names, the Hare Krishna mantra, or any combination of holy names, in full Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, there can be no peace or happiness in the world. So the translation again. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others, who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment, verily eat only sin. So everything that we see, everything that exists, is either God or God's energy. It doesn't belong to us. Now the fact that no one is like posting signs that it belongs to God or nobody is standing guard doesn't make it any less God's property. And so we cannot survive without utilizing God's property or God's energy. But because it does not belong to us, we cannot take it without permission. And God gives permission under certain conditions. So when it comes to food, He gives us permission to take the food as long as we offer it to Him first. So this is it's a beautiful concept, and it's also a bit subtle. Because God is everything, and He, everything belongs to Him, and He's self-sufficient. He doesn't need anything. But the example is given that in a family, the father, the mother, the children will be sitting at the dinner table, and a small child will taste something that's very nice, and he will offer it to his father. That, "Oh, Daddy, this is so nice. You should have some of this." Now, everything at the dinner table is there because of the father earning and, father and mother purchasing the food and cooking the food. And the father doesn't need that little morsel that the child is offering him. But the father's very pleased with that affectionate gesture that, "Oh, Daddy, this is so nice, you should taste some of it." So, in a similar way, although Krishna doesn't need our offering, and whatever we are able to offer Him is coming from Him, but He's pleased by our attitude of offering. So we offer whatever we eat to Krishna first, and then that the offering becomes sanctified by that process, and after the offering it is called prashad, which means literally mercy. And there is a difference. Although it looks like the same food it was before it was offered, but there's actually a difference after it's offered. I mentioned this the other evening, that I had a colleague who was in the Peace Corps in India. And when he had time, he would visit the big temples of Vishnu or Krishna. And at the temples, he would get prasad. He would get food offered to the form of the Lord in the temple. And he could perceive that there was a difference between that food and ordinary food. Then some years later, when his term in the Peace Corps ended, he came back to America, and he went to the Hare Krishna temple in Buffalo, New York, and there he had prasad. And it struck him, oh, this is the same different type of food as I had in India. Prasad. So there is an actual tangible difference that can be perceived. And the effect of eating prasad, like as the verse says it, so the verse says that if you prepare food just for yourself, your self-enjoyment or sense enjoyment, you're eating sin. So why is it sinful? Sinful means, again, against the laws of God, or the laws of nature. It's sinful, one, because it doesn't belong to you. So if you take it without permission, you're a thief. But God gives permission, but under certain conditions. And then the condition is that you offer it first to God. Now, in offering to God, just like with anyone, you offer what the person wants. You can't offer him anything. You have to know what the person wants, and then you offer that. So elsewhere in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakta prayachati. That if one offers him with love and devotion, now the love and devotion is really crucial, because as we mentioned, like the father, he doesn't need the offering from the small child, but it's the child's love that captures the heart of the father. So if one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a fruit, a flower, or some water, Krishna says, I will accept it. In other words, we can offer Krishna only vegetarian items. I mean, there's no temple on earth in which Krishna is offered meat, fish, or eggs. It's just, you don't offer that to Krishna. So if one, to become released from sins in the process of eating, we have to offer the food to Krishna, and that food has to be vegetarian. Of course, being vegetarian is better than being non-vegetarian, even if you don't offer the food to Krishna. It's better, it's more moral. It's more sinful. Obviously, there's gradations of life. So we all agree that murder is sinful, to kill another human being. So then beneath the human form, there are other forms of life, and it's definitely more sinful. It's a more grievous offense to kill, for example, a cow than to kill a potato. Now, a lot of vegetarian food doesn't involve killing at all. If you eat an apple, it doesn't involve killing the apple tree, you're just taking the apple. Of course, it's Krishna's property, so you still have to offer it, but you're not killing. And most of what we eat in a vegetarian diet or a Krishnatarian diet does not involve killing. I gave the example of a potato a minute ago because when you eat a potato, you are killing. But killing a potato is not on the same level as killing a cow. But you are killing, and therefore there is a reaction. You have to suffer a reaction if you kill any creature. But that reaction can be mitigated, or I should say eliminated, if you offer that potato to Krishna. If you prepare it with love and devotion, you can't just offer him a raw potato, but if you prepare it with love and devotion and offer it to Krishna, Krishna will accept it. And then what he leaves behind, that you could say the remnants of that offering or sacrifice, what he leaves behind is called prasad. And by eating that prasad, you become free from sinful reactions. And it's very powerful, this prasad. I'll tell one story. This goes back some years. In my introduction, Prem Vilas mentioned that I had worked in South Africa. So when I first started going to South Africa, the country was under apartheid. Apartheid means separateness, literally. And so, the whites, the Indians, the coloreds, and the blacks were not allowed to live together. Now, in our temple, we had everyone living together. But that was just part of it. Another part of it was that many of the devotees had come from different countries, from England, from America, and their presence was indispensable for the functioning of our activities. And so some of them didn't. I guess you'd say they overstayed their visas, or they didn't have the proper visa. So at the time, the president of South Africa, F.D. de Klerk, came to visit the temple and actually see what was going on. And after, seeing the activities, meeting the devotees, he didn't make any commitment either to let them stay or not. And as usual, if when someone comes to the temple or any function, we give them prasad. So we gave him a box of prasad. And it just so happens that the Durban airport was quite close to our temple in Durban, South Africa. And the airplane that he was on, going back to his capital city, circled around our temple. And while it was circling around the temple, he started eating the prasad that the devotees had given him. And that, whatever softened his heart, changed his heart. And it just came into his mind, yes, these are good people, I must let them stay. So, so prasad is not ordinary food. And its effects can be perceived in different ways. One is happiness and gleefulness, and another is an awakening of devotion and love. So, so what we show here, tonight we're not having the cooking demonstration, but we teach how to cook vegetarian food, which is fit to be offered to Krishna. Of course, we don't offer meat, fish, or eggs, as mentioned. We also don't offer onions or garlic, and there are reasons for that. And then we offer it. It becomes prasad, and then by eating that prasad, you become free from sins, you become purified, and you become elevated. So just to tie up that one point about killing the potato. When you could say, when a civilian goes into the army, he can kill, any number of, in a war. I'm not sure the context, but earlier I overheard someone talking about the Vietnam War. So when a citizen goes into the army and is fighting in a war, the more of the enemy he kills, the better. And he's decorated, he's honored for killing those people, enemy, evil people, let's say, hope. But that same citizen, if he comes home and he kills even one person, he's a murderer and he will be punished. And if he says, well, wait a minute, when I was in the war, I killed so many people and I was honored for it. And here I kill one person and you're punishing me? The difference is that, and this is a crude example, but the difference is that in the war, his killing was authorized. Whereas at home, his killing was not authorized, and therefore it was criminal. So, granted that although most of the food we offer to Krishna does not involve killing, but if we offer a potato, for example, it does involve killing. But that killing is authorized because we're offering it to Krishna. And if it's not authorized, even killing a simple potato does incur some reactions. And therefore it is an important step to offer the food. And we hope you'll take that step. But even if you don't, of course, it's definitely, less grievous to kill a potato than to kill a cow or a chicken or a fish. So this is the basic presentation. But there is one more point, which is, sometimes we do things, and it could apply to what we eat. Sometimes we do things that we know are not good for us. But still we do them. So why? What is the reason? So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that it is due to lust or selfish desires. And so, yeah, it happens all the time that people do things that they don't really want to do, or they know it's not good for them, or it's not good for their health, it's not good for their relationships, it's not good for their future, but they do it because of that kama. But that kama can be eradicated by chanting. And therefore, chanting is an essential ingredient to the whole process. It makes everything easy. It makes everything easy. And so we chant. You can repeat after me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
So thank you for listening so patiently and attentively. Do any of you have any comments or questions? Yes.
I just want to say thank you for coming here and speaking. But my question, it doesn't necessarily have a relation with the vegetarian or the food discussion, but I would want to ask your opinion on, you spoke about your teacher and your mentor, and I think time and time you see that that's a very important influence on people. And I was wondering, what would be your opinion on finding a mentor in either my life or anyone else's life? What would be the first steps to take, in your opinion?
Okay. Well, as my mentor says, if you're looking for gold, you have to have some idea of what gold is. Otherwise, you can be cheated. You know, you can go into a hardware store and say, do you have gold? Oh, yeah. They'll give you like some nuts and bolts. And so you have to have some idea of what you're looking for. And in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the basic textbook of yoga, Krishna gives the qualifications of a guru. That's what you're talking about, finding a guru. So he gives the qualifications, so you have some idea of what you're looking for.
Well, you look like gold, so when am I coming home with you?
Well,
pack my bag.
You're welcome. You're welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? So, what is next?
Thank you. It's at 8:10. Any other final comments or questions? Is any first timers today coming? Hey, nice to see you again. Anybody coming for first time today? Thank you. If you want to be part of a community, you can see me after the class. We can add it to our communication so you know what's happening. So this semester we have some issues. Some days on Tuesdays, some on Wednesdays, some on Fridays. Some we only have a part of it. Some we have full. So we are dealing with that. Some students, please come in. There's a lot of space in the front.
Yes, come.
So as the students are coming, I'm looking for Subrato. I don't see him. He went out. So next week I don't have the record in front of me. I don't know if it's next Friday or Wednesday. Next Friday. Thank you. So next week isn't Friday. We'll be back on schedule on Friday. But however, the next semester we already got reserved for Mondays. We're back on track for that. But however, we have a few more weeks. We have to somehow organize. So you get 150 students. They want to come. They want to bring. So that's going to happen. It's a big feast. That's going to have maybe 2 rooms. We're going to book it. So we're going to cook for 200 plus that day. So there's enrollment students. So they're also given us their funds. So we're going to cook for them as well as our normal crowd, 60, 70 for this week. That week. So that we will communicate when that's going to happen in a couple of weeks. So Bruno is not here. So he's stepped out. Okay. And also, as before you all came, Premalas, my friend, introduced the speaker. He has books available for donation. And then if anybody interested, you can also sign. They're available. And then now, what we do, every week is a self-service, but this week some of our friends are here, they're going to serve. So I cook for almost, we cook for almost 120 students, so not many today, but however, there are also take-home boxes, how much you want you can eat, and you can also take over tomorrow for your friend, yourself, lunch or breakfast. One thing is sure, I'm not taking anything home, okay? You're going to take it. So having said that, thank you very much. Appreciate your joining us tonight. As I always said, many times a lot of students ask me, every week we talk about a different topic. So where do I get that? So this is one of the inspiration, His Holiness. I follow him, and whatever the wisdom we share every week is coming from the same source. Now we have a personality here, so we can take advantage. As when we're eating, he's also available. If somebody have any questions one-on-one, he can talk and then he can shed some light. So don't feel shy.
I don't have only long section of the class because you all have the classes whole day, right? So we'll conclude here. Thank you. So I always says before we eat, food should not be eaten, should be honored. So we'll take 30 seconds break. We want to express our gratitude. So if you believe God, you can thank God. If you don't believe, you can thank the cook. If you don't believe that, you can thank the Mother Nature. But at least some kind of a grace so that the food for the body, but also the gratitude is for the soul. Okay? Let's do that. And they're going to set up. Give us a few minutes. So we'll set it up, then we'll start serving.